The Ring is a 2002 American horror film directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Naomi Watts, Martin Henderson, and David Dorfman. It is a remake of the Japanese horror film, Ringu, 1998, directed by Hideo Nakata, which is based on the novel of the same name by Koji Suzuki. The movie revolves around a journalist named Rachel Keller, played by Naomi Watts, who investigates the urban legend of a cursed videotape that kills its viewers 7 days after they watch it. After watching the tape herself, Rachel begins to experience disturbing visions and becomes convinced that she and her son, who also watched the tape, are in grave danger. As Rachel delves deeper into the mystery of the videotape, she discovers a tragic backstory involving a young girl named Samara who was thrown into a well by her mother and left to die. It turns out that the cursed videotape contains images of Samara's tortured life and that she seeks revenge on those who watch it. The film received critical acclaim for its suspenseful atmosphere, eerie visuals, and strong performances, particularly from Naomi Watts. The movie also became a commercial success, grossing over $249 million worldwide and spawning 2 sequels. Overall, The Ring is a classic horror movie that is known for its iconic imagery and chilling premise. The film has become a cultural phenomenon and has influenced many other horror movies and pop culture references. The Blair Witch Project is a 1999 American found-footage horror film, directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. The movie follows 3 film students, Heather, Josh, and Mike, as they venture into the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, to make a documentary about a local legend known as the Blair Witch. As the 3 students delve deeper into the woods, they become lost and experience strange and terrifying occurrences. The tension and fear mount as they begin to believe that they are being stalked by a malevolent entity, the Blair Witch, and their increasingly desperate attempts to find their way out of the woods are recorded on their cameras. The film was a massive commercial success, grossing over $248 million worldwide on a budget of only $60,000. It was praised for its innovative found-footage style and its ability to create a sense of dread and fear through suggestion rather than explicit violence. The Blair Witch Project has become a cultural phenomenon and is often cited as a landmark horror film. It has influenced many subsequent found-footage movies and has spawned 2 sequels, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 Inches, 2000, and Blair Witch, 2016. Overall, The Blair Witch Project is a classic horror movie that effectively taps into primal fears of the unknown and the unseen. Its innovative approach to storytelling and filmmaking has earned it a place in horror movie history. The Silence of the Lambs is a 1991 American psychological horror thriller film directed by Jonathan Demme and stars Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, and Scott Glenn. The movie is based on the novel of the same name by Thomas Harris. The plot follows a young FBI trainee, Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, who is assigned to interview the notorious cannibalistic serial killer, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins, in order to gain insight into the mind of another serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, played by Ted Levine, who is still on the loose. As Starling delves deeper into the case, she becomes entangled in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with both Lecter and Buffalo Bill. The film was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $272 million worldwide and winning 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins, Best Actress, Jodie Foster, and Best Adapted Screenplay. The Silence of the Lambs is widely regarded as a classic and groundbreaking horror movie. The film's suspenseful atmosphere, clever storytelling, and iconic performances by Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins have made it a cultural phenomenon. The movie also introduced the character of Hannibal Lecter, who has become one of the most famous and recognizable villains in movie history. Overall, The Silence of the Lambs is a must-see horror movie that combines psychological suspense, terrifying thrills, and unforgettable performances to create a timeless masterpiece. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a 1984 American horror film directed by Wes Craven and stars Robert Englund as the iconic villain, Freddy Krueger. The movie follows a group of teenagers who are being terrorized in their dreams by Krueger, a disfigured serial killer who was burned alive by angry parents years earlier. The teenagers struggle to stay awake as they realize that if they fall asleep, they will be at the mercy of Krueger's sadistic imagination. As they begin to uncover the truth about Krueger's past, they realize that the only way to defeat him is to confront him in the dream world. The film was a commercial and critical success, grossing over $57 million worldwide on a budget of only $1.8 million. It spawned a franchise that includes 9 films, a TV series, comic books, and video games. A Nightmare on Elm Street is widely regarded as a classic horror movie, known for its inventive premise, creepy atmosphere, and of course, the unforgettable character of Freddy Krueger. The movie was also notable for its use of practical special effects, which created some of the most memorable and terrifying scenes in horror movie history. Overall, A Nightmare on Elm Street is a must-watch horror movie that has influenced countless other horror movies and pop culture references. The movie's innovative approach to horror and its iconic villain have made it a horror classic that continues to scare audiences today. It Follows is a 2014 American supernatural horror film written and directed by David Robert Mitchell. The movie follows a teenage girl named Jay, played by Micah Monroe, who, after having sex with her new boyfriend, begins to experience disturbing and unexplainable visions. She soon discovers that she has been cursed by a supernatural entity that will relentlessly pursue her until it kills her or she passes the curse on to someone else. Jay, with the help of her friends, sets out to evade and defeat the entity before it's too late. As they navigate through a maze of clues to unravel the mystery of the curse, they face various dangers and obstacles, including paranoia, terror, and violent confrontations. It Follows was a critical and commercial success, grossing over $23 million on a budget of only $2 million. The film was praised for its fresh take on the horror genre, its artful direction, and its clever commentary on teenage sexuality and anxiety. The movie's atmospheric cinematography, haunting score, and effective use of suspenseful storytelling make it a standout horror film of the 2010s. Its unique premise and execution have made it a cult classic among horror fans. Overall, It Follows is a chilling and thought-provoking horror movie that explores the darker aspects of teenage life through an innovative and suspenseful horror story.